How is it going, guys and girls? My name is Camel and welcome back to the Elder Scrolls Online. In this video I'm going to show you the Orcs, or the Orsimer if you want to be old school, weapon and armor style. So let's get straight into this. First up we have the light armor set. Now as we can see here, the color combination doesn't really complement this set whatsoever, but if you take a look, it is actually a pretty cool looking set. The helmet's very Mongolian or West Asian. I'm not too familiar with Asian historical culture, so I could be wrong there, but it does look pretty cool. In previous Elder Scrolls games we certainly have seen elements of, at least I know, the Japanese kind of influence style in the armor, so no surprise seeing that here. So next up for the armors we have the medium armor set. It's a pretty cool looking set. I do enjoy this set. The helmet from behind looks like a leather skull cap, but then it turns around and boom, it looks like one of the masks of the Immortals from the movie 300. Pretty damn cool. The rest of the set though, I think it works. I like the belt buckle too, mimicking that face, that beautiful, gorgeous face that we see on the helmet there. So next up for the armor sets we have the heavy armor set, and this is what I was talking about previously. I know in Morrowind at least we saw the orcish styled armor had that very samurai kind of feel about it, and this is reflected here as well. Very grim looking face on that helmet. Pretty cool set though, that kind of upwards ponytail and the pauldrons really give it that kind of samurai feel for me anyway. The belt buckle's cool and the overall design of the armor set is really cool, and I think it captures the orcs as a culture perfectly. So now we're on to the one-handed weapons. First up we have the one-handed axes. A very unique axe head shape there. I like the designs that they put on the axe blade, as per usual. Pretty cool looking axe though. I do like that axe. So next up we have the one-handed swords. Very unique shape of the swords there. Most swords that have a point like that are very curvy, but this one is pretty much dead straight, and then it gets a little bit thicker at the end, and I love those hand guards, man. They're really cool. They almost have a Ultima feel about them. Next up, we have the one-handed maces. These are just straight up hammers. The only other real hammer-looking mace that we've seen is with the Nord styles. But this is cool. Very cool that they haven't just put some spikes on a stick. They've given it a real Warhammer look. And I do believe traditionally the orcs have a higher mace skill, naturally. Now we're on to the two-handed weapons. We have the two-handed axe, the battle axe. Very cool. It's pretty much the one-handed axe, just a bigger scaled up version. I think the blade of the axe is actually proportionally bigger. Yeah, I think those spikes on the top and the bottom are bigger. The spike on the back's a little bit bigger than the spike on the top. Really cool axe though. Now we have the two-handed sword, the claymore, the great sword. Very cool. Unlike the one-handed sword, it is symmetrical on both sides of the sword. It doesn't curve to one side. I like, again, how it gets thicker towards the end and then goes back into the point. Really cool how it does that. Like I said, with the one-handed sword, I love that handguard design. I think they've subtly slipped in the elven heritage of the orcs in there. Next up for the two-handed weapons, we have the two-handed mace, the Warhammer the Maul, and that's sick. I think there's an artifact called Volsung, something like that. We see it in Morrowind and I think in Skyrim. Very similar to this, it is of like an orcish descent or something like that. So I think it's relevant that they've given this orcish two-handed mace a similar design. Really cool. Next up we have the daggers. Very cool. Just like we see in most of the other weapon and armor styles, they just pretty much scaled down versions of the swords, the one-handed swords that is. Yeah, they're pretty much identical, got the same handguards, got the same design up, and they have exactly the same shape. I think proportionally though they have bigger handles, but apart from that, pretty much the same thing. Now we're onto the bow. That quiver is pretty cool. I do like that quiver. That arrowhead looks pretty sick. I like the shape that they've given the feathers on the arrow as well. That's pretty much the most bowy bow shape I've seen so far, I think. It's pretty cool though. I like the metal on either side of the handguard. I don't think there's any design in there. No, it's just a plain metal. Interesting. It's a pretty cool bow. Mr. Fox is nowhere to be seen, so we'll have a serpentine offering. Goodbye, Mr. Snake. I love you. There we go. Overall, a pretty cool looking bow. Okay, so now we're onto the staffs. All four staffs sharing this exact same skin. The shaft of the staff isn't too impressive. The head of the staff isn't too impressive either, unfortunately. For some reason, it reminds me of a pineapple. I don't know why. Anyway, no gems to be seen, no color, and no real patterns in it. What are you doing? Now we're onto the shield, the Orca's shield. Pretty cool. I like how they put a face on there. I was expecting something a bit more brutal and savage for the shield, but that's what it is. Quite a unique shape, that kind of tower shield look. It's quite thick though as well. Very cool, very orcish. They've stuck quite well to what we have traditionally seen as an orcish style. And that is it for the orcish or Orsimer weapon and armor styles video. I'm doing this video series just because in-game there's no real way to preview what you're going to be crafting or what you're going to be buying off someone else. So I'm doing this just to help myself out in the long run, and in the process help as many as you as I possibly can. Because at the end of the day, that's what all of my videos are for, really. If you are interested in weapon and armor styles, be sure to check out the link in the description. It's a link to my playlist where I'm going to show you all of the different weapon and armor styles just to, like I said, help you out. Now, the color combinations that were present in this video aren't necessarily the color combinations that will be present when you create these items. Color schemes are determined by what materials you use to craft the items and are also influenced by what quality level the item is. I do believe in a future patch they are going to introduce armor dyeing, rendering all of this information redundant anyway. So I hope this video really helped you out. I hope it helped you in deciding what weapon and armor styles you do wish to use. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And as always, if you did enjoy this video and you would like more videos like this one, please subscribe. I would like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'll see you there. Goodbye.